there you great people, I hope you are doing so very well. Obviously I'm back in the kitchen here, but before I tell you what I'm doing, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Trevor Pritchard, Great D Second, Chris and Riaz Khan, who've all subscribed today and yesterday. Thank you all so very much, you guys, and also all my other existing subscribers. Here I've got a very simple beef stew for you, which I'm going to make today. I'm going to go through the ingredients quickly, starting with this, which is 400 grams of diced beef steak, which I've put 1 teaspoon of black pepper on, half a teaspoon of salt on, and 2 teaspoons of hot English mustard. If you've got American mustard, you could do 2 teaspoons of that, and maybe put an extra half a teaspoon of black pepper. Also here, I've got 1 tablespoon of fresh chopped ginger, about 1.5 tablespoons of garlic, and about 1 tablespoon of chopped jalapenos. Also, if you notice, I've got a tube here of tomato puree, which you can see, a very good one, Napolina. And I've quite roughly chopped into large chunks, similar size to the steak, 1 large red onion. I've got a tin here of potatoes in water, 400 gram tin by the way, but I've drained the water out. I've also got these stock cubes, which I've used 2 of. They've got to be beef stock cubes by the way. I've put 2 of them here in this measuring jug, which I'll show you what we're doing with in a bit. And then in this bowl here, I've used half of a tin of chopped tomatoes, so 200 grams of chopped tomatoes, with 250 ml of water, little grinded black pepper, little bit of salt, and 1 tablespoon of tomato puree. So I've got my wok here, and we're not trying to make this too greasy, so I've just put 1 tablespoon of sunflower oil in here, and we're going to put this on about 4 out of 6, so medium high, and once it's hot and bubbling away, we'll then add our beef. We want to put our beef into a hot pan so it actually seals nicely. Once this is up to temperature and we're about to add the beef, I'll come back. Right, so with our wok up to temperature on about medium, with that 1 tablespoon of oil, we're now going to add this 400 grams of nicely seasoned diced beef steak. I forgot to say in the beef steak as well, I added a teaspoon of mixed herbs. What we'll do quickly, it's all moving around the pan, soaking from that oil. And we're not doing this for very long at all. We don't want to fully cook it because this is a stew, not a stir fry. So keep this moving around on about a medium heat for about 3 or 4 minutes until all the pieces of beef are nicely browned all around. So after about 3 minutes on a medium, when all the beef is nicely browned off, it doesn't matter if there's pink bits still, it's all nicely browned off, get yourself a bowl ready, and we're going to tip all of the beef into the bowl, hopefully without spilling any. Then put this back on heat and keep the bowl of beef to the side for now. Keep that back on the heat. What we're going to do now is going to add this roughly chopped onion, which I've chopped to a similar size to the beef. Get all that in there. And what we'll do is we'll just do this for probably about 4 or 5 minutes. And if the pan starts to dry out, just add a tablespoon of water from the tap here and there. Once these onions are almost done, I'll come back. If you can hopefully see through the steam, I did these onions for 5 minutes on a medium high on 4 out of 6. During that 5 minutes, I've probably added about 4 tablespoons of water out the tap because it's getting quite dry. Done them for 5 minutes so they've gone soft and nice and brown and caramelised, as you can see. And I've just added the 1 tablespoon of chilli, 1 tablespoon of ginger, and a tablespoon and a half of garlic. I'm just going to grab the spatula, give this all a good stir through, and you just do these now for about 1 minute. So after doing the onions for 5 minutes, obviously we've just added the garlic, ginger and chilli. We've done that for 1 minute now, and what we're going to do at this stage is we're going to add even some tomato puree. I'm not going to measure this, but we're going to add around probably about 3 tablespoons, something like that. Give that a good stir around. At this point the pan's going to be quite dry, so use your spatula, wooden spoon, whatever you're using, just to scrape up the bottom of that pan a little bit. We'll do this with tomato puree in there now for about 2 minutes. Right, we've now done our tomato puree paste, or whatever you want to call it, in the pan here for around about 2 minutes. We are now going to add our half a can of chopped tomatoes, which has got 1 tablespoon of tomato puree in here and 250 ml of cold water into the pan. That looks incredible already. What we're going to do is just turn the heat up a bit to sort of, I'll do it on a 5 out of 6, so quite high, and just let this start bubbling. As you can probably see now, we've got this bubbling away nicely. It only took 3 or 4 minutes to get it bubbling. We're going to now get our diced beef that we nicely browned off earlier, add that with all the juices in the bowl, make sure it all goes in there for final taste, and we're just going to give this a good stir around a minute. Good stir around, a good mix together. Put that on the side a minute. And then what I've done here with this measuring jug, I told you earlier, I put in 2 beef stock cubes, and I put in, I don't know if you can see it, it was 500 ml of boiling water here. And I've stirred this stock cube quite nicely. And by the way, that smells incredible. So we'll take our jar of stock here, or even jug, and we'll put that in there as well. Getting every last little bit in there. Let's just put that off to the side a minute. And now also, sorry, we'll get our 500 grams of these potatoes, which I did drain the water out of beforehand. Let's put that in there. Now that's done, what we'll do, again, we'll turn the heat up to about a 5, and we'll get this to a bit of a rolling boil, which is probably going to take a good 5 minutes because of all the juices in there and the liquids I've just added. If you can see, we've now get this up to a sort of rolling boil on 5 out of 6 on the heat, so quite high. Once we get to this point, we're going to turn the heat back down to quite low, so I'm going to put it on 2, just below medium. Give it one final stir, and on a low we're just going to simmer this now completely uncovered for around about half an hour, just to lose some of this liquid and thicken it up a little bit. So in the end we actually simmered this for 40 minutes, not half an hour. We simmered it for 40 minutes on sort of a medium, on about 3 out of 6, and as you can probably see, it is reduced down quite a lot. Remember, we've done this uncovered. How incredibly good does that look? All the steak in there, onions, potatoes and everything else. We're not quite done at this stage, so at this stage what I'm going to do, I've got some of this Kiko Man soy sauce. There's only a little bit in there. If you've not got this, use just any soy sauce by any company, or even better, Worcestershire sauce or Liam Perrins. What we're going to do is, there isn't much in here, but do about half a teaspoon of soy, or like I said, Liam Perrins or Worcester. We're going to put that in there. Give that a nice little stir around. So it mixes thoroughly through. This will give it a really nice little bit of bite and a richness as well. So yeah, now our lid, and we're going to put the cover on this wok, but we're going to leave a little bit of a vent, which you can see around the edges. It can steam down a little bit, and again we're going to keep this on a medium, and we're going to do it for another 20 minutes, so an hour in total. 40 minutes uncovered on medium, and then 20 minutes covered, and then it'll be ready to serve. As you saw just now, we did this on a medium, 40 minutes uncovered. The last 20 minutes, after putting a little bit of soy sauce in here, we put this cover on. So we've done it an hour in total, 40 minutes covered and 20 minutes at the end uncovered. And what does that look like? It looks incredible. We're going to put this, literally serve it in a Pyrex dish. And by the way, the smell of and richness of that beef with that stock I put in there, plus the sweetness of those onions in there, and the ginger, and the freshness of that garlic and those herbs, and those tomatoes as well. This is going to be absolutely incredible. Tell me what you think of this in the comments if you watch the video, and please try and make this at home. It might have took a little while to make, but most of that was just simmering, covered and uncovered. It's actually quite a simple dish. The way I'm going to serve this, once I've spooned it into this Pyrex dish here, I won't do it all, but I'll do that in a moment off camera. But the way I'm going to serve it literally is going to be very simply in a small bowl, just a ladle or two of it for now, with this nice piece of thick white bread which I put some olive oil spread on. I really hope you enjoyed this video anyway. Please go ahead and check out some other great videos on 14 amazing playlists on this Paulbhustlin85. Also, please do not forget to like, especially subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I hope you enjoyed yet another edition of my home cooking, and I'll see you all very soon.